Hello, my name is Elizabeth Tanner, and I'm going to be discussing a free website that you can use to help students with reading comprehension and reading fluency called readtheory.org. The standard that applies with this program is the TPAC, dealing with technological pedagogical content knowledge, or TPK, or TPAC. You need an internet and a device capable of going online, and you're good to go. I prefer to use Chrome, but you can use any different platform that you want. Once you have opened Chrome, you will go and type in readtheory.org, and then you can sign in with a username and password or using your Google account if you want to link it to your email. It's up to you which way you prefer. There is no right or wrong as long as children are learning. Once you are in your page, the first thing that pops up is your students. This is where you can add, remove, or group students as needed. I typically use Read Theory as a learning tool for those in intervention or kids that just need that extra bit of help. So if I want to add a kid, I simply go to create new student accounts, and then I type in their name. It is very time consuming at the beginning because you have to do this for them. You can't just give them a link for them to sign up. So say student learner. Okay, and then once you hit tab, it will come up with a username. You can change that as you want. Hit tab again, go to password. You can set default passwords or you can assign passwords to the same. I typically have them just do reading and then whatever hour or year they're going to do it in, so reading 19. So each class has the same password. It just helps me instead of each kid having their own. And then you can add the kid's email or you can let them add it once they've logged in. If you want to add another student, you just hit add row and the one that you just did pops up there. And then you could do Davy Jones. It will come up with a username. Type in the password you want it to be. Again, you can have it the same or you can change it. You can have it lowercase, uppercase, it doesn't matter. As soon as you've typed in all of your students, and I would do all of them and then go back and sort them, just click the finish button and it will process adding those kids. And then once it's done, it will ask you to hit close. So you'll hit close and then you'd go down and the kids that are needing to be assigned a class will have this little notice in red and you just click their box and then go up and add to reading intervention. If a kid is no longer in your class and you don't want to monitor them anymore, you can go and click on Davy Jones, go back up and say remove from whichever class. And you can always reset passwords if a kid forgets or you forget, but that's why I just have them all the same per hour. So there is no forgetting that. I don't have to do that. You can choose to allow your kids to see what grade level and Lexile score they're working on or not. It's up to you. And you can see how many points they have or not. It's up to you. So that's the student tab where you add or remove students. The next is a list of your classes. So if I had more than one, I would have it in this drop down, but I only have the one reading intervention, the kids that are not at grade level and need that extra time, and they get it every week for 30 minutes a day, and then the next week is a different class. It tells you their their name, whatever name you put in for them. So here is just last name and first initial and second initial, and then their username. So that's why I put their passwords, because otherwise you have to keep track of them. The system doesn't do that for you. So again, all the same password will make your life easier. Keep tracks of how many students are in here so you don't have to count. The next tab is progress. So this is how many of the class has completed quizzes or assignments, how many knowledge points they have earned, and that helps with competitiveness and how many points have you earned, what level are you at, the average grade that they're working on, and Lexile. So these kids are supposed to be in 7th grade, and as you can see, they're at the 3rd grade level, so they're really behind. And then again, you can look and see which kids are having the most points earned. So every right answer gives them points. So Jones is doing really well. My new student who I just added has 0, and you can just see their progress. Some of the kids have done a lot of quizzes, but they're not earning points because they're not being very accurate. So here you can see that he has done a lot of quizzes, so has this person, but his scores didn't match. This one lets you know what level they scored at and then what level they are performing at. So the diamond is what their test was at. This is what they're working on. So every time they answer things wrong, it drops them down. And when they answer enough right, it moves them up. You do need to be careful with kids not taking the pre-test seriously, just so that they can have easy answers. So sometimes you need to delete and make them redo it. So make sure that you know your kids before assigning this program to them, because sometimes they'll take the test and be at a 1st grade level, but they're really at a 7th grade level, and they're just gonna blow through their answers because it's so much easier than it should be. It needs to be within their range, either 1 or grade level below at their grade level, or 1 above wherever they're working at. Otherwise, it's not very effective. And here you can be like, oh, Todd should be reading books at the 735 to 820 Lexile level. So if your library assigns that Lexile number to their books, then you can be like, no, that book is too hard for you, or no, this book is too easy for you. So that's nice. Going back up to the top, you can click here, add to written responses. If you want kids to have to write answers to questions that they read or write, you can do it here. I never have them do the written responses here because I have them using a different program for that. This one is just for reading comprehension and fluency. And then say that a kid has lost the ability to use a device, they're not responsible enough. You can click on what grade level the kid is working on and say we want to work at 7th grade. And then you can click on the one that's here, or you can click on the full inventory over here, depending on if you need 1 or 2. And then you can just print this, and it's the same information they get online, but it's all on paper. And then they do give them the answers, so make sure that you don't give them the answer sheet when you print it off and hand it to them. So they have this article, they read it, and then they answer questions. So it helps them with vocabulary, comprehension. The ones that print always have a written component to them, so you can have the kids do it. You're like, hey, you lost your device, you have to write, or you can be nice and say you only have to do the multiple choice. Anytime a kid answers a question wrong, it gives them the correct answer, and that's why down here they have the answers. So when they are done answering the questions, they can check and then say that they picked A for number 1. Then they can be like, oh, it's C, and you know why the answer is what it is, where you can find it, and what it's dealing with. This is the most important and useful part of the assignment, but a lot of the kids forget to do it or skip it. So you need to make sure that you're monitoring so the kids understand why they got something wrong and they're not just skipping through. Okay. It's a really nice website. The kids enjoy it. You can't see it, but if you go to the knowledge points, they tell you what they are, but the kids can earn different levels, and so each time they earn a different level, they get a badge, and so the kids like being like, oh, I'm a knight, or oh, I'm a navigator, and it's pretty cool. You can't see it on the teacher view, only on the kids view, but they do like doing that. You can always adjust when, so if you do it all year, you can be like, oh, I only want to look for the month of May, and you can apply it here. You can reset a class if they are just not doing very well. You can print one, or you can look at an individual kid and be like, oh, okay, so he's an analysis. That's the level he's at. That's that competition along with the knowledge points. He's passed 6 of the 13 quizzes he's taken. He's averaging 3rd grade level. And you can print this and show it to him or parents. And then down here, it's nice because it shows you their accuracy. So the ones that he's taking his time on, he's excelling at, and the ones he's guessing, he's not doing well. So say, oh, you only got a 20%. You can click on the assignment. No, that one's not letting you click because it's too far back. Let's say the 66. You can click on the assignment and you can print it and make them do it again. So this is a little bit of what they see, but it's all on one instead of separate. And the kids can change the font size. So if they need to make it bigger or smaller, they can. But it's a really good tool to help with reading comprehension and reading fluency for those struggling students because it's at their grade level and it has a variety of topics. If you have any other questions or how to use it in your classroom, let me know. Again, the program is readtheory.org, and I would recommend you using it for any kid that needs to improve in comprehension or fluency. Thanks.